Ohio gozaimasu. So I'm making a, I guess you could call it a Filipino breakfast. Problem was, this was completely frozen and I didn't want to wait. So what I did was I put it into the pan with a whole bunch of water. I probably filled it up about 1/3 of the way high of the longanisa, and I just put it on a really low kind of simmer, maybe like 15-20 minutes. It's definitely thawed out and it's ready to cook. It's like a quick way to de-thaw this. But yeah, I'm gonna be making some garlic fried rice. We got some leftover pandesal and scrambled eggs. One of the ways you know you got your steamed milk consistency down is if after you drink half your, this is a cortado or a latte, the art is still there. First thing I'm gonna make is the garlic fried rice. Leftover rice. I prefer using freshly cooked rice. Instead of oil, I will be using a clarified butter. The reason is healthier for you, and clarified butter is just where you remove the milk solids, so almost acts like an oil and doesn't burn, so you get a kind of different taste. And you can't have garlic fried rice without, of course, the garlic. I'm using a wok today. I'm gonna get that heated up. One of the things that's always confused me about Filipino cuisine and garlic, you learn in traditional, I'd say classic cooking, that you should never brown your garlic. It's like a no-no because of the flavor. But in Filipino cuisine, they brown the garlic. It's a interesting, complete contrast to, you know, French style cooking, classic cooking, as I mentioned. And I don't know, it just works. When you do it with other types of recipes, it doesn't work. But with Filipino cuisines, I don't know, maybe it's the combination of the flavors with other ingredients, but I kind of do half and half. I will brown a little bit of garlic. I'm gonna show you a little trick of what I do so that it doesn't completely brown and keep some of that garlicness that you lose when you brown the garlic. So anyways, just got all these ready. Now it's time to prep them further. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna split this up into two types of garlic. One is just gonna be sliced nice and big. Not worried about getting it perfectly chopped. I'm just gonna get the flavor out of the garlic and then put it off to the side. So just rough chopping like this. That's it. Do that with about 2/3, and the other third I will actually use a garlic press. For the other garlic, I'm gonna use this garlic press. I'll tell you what, it's not a bad thing to get a nice garlic press because there's a lot of cheap ones out there and you probably don't think anything of it. But once you start pressing a lot of garlic, you're gonna wish you had a nice one. This is a solid one from Italy. My gosh, I had some really cheap ones. Talk about getting any kind of cooking tools from the thrift store, and you can totally buy a garlic press from there, and I did. But you really, really want to get a nice one eventually. Boom. Sliced and minced. Now I am going to use a little bit of oil because I don't have quite enough clarified butter. This will just get things going. I'm using avocado oil. Then what I will do is get as much of this clarified butter out of here as I can. So the reason this is kind of splattering is because there is still some milk solids at the very bottom. First thing I'm gonna do is get this sliced garlic. So the trick is, for me at least, I put the sliced garlic in there and I'm gonna get that oil and butter mixture flavored up. I won't necessarily let it get super brown, but I want all that garlic goodness to come out. I'm just gonna leave it in there, probably 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, I can see it's starting to get brown and I want to remove it like literally right now. So I'm actually going to turn off the heat and take just my little spoon here. I don't know what you call this. What kind of spoon is this? It's like a strainer spoon, mesh spoon. See, it's just perfectly brown, but not too brown. And don't you worry, I will not throw this away. I'll show you what I do with that later. I'm gonna crank up the heat again. Now you want to get this guy blasted, like super hot. At this point, you're gonna probably want to turn on your fan, so excuse the noise that you're about to hear in a second here. It's smoking. I mean, this is getting hot enough. I'm just gonna lay it right on in there. Whoa! You gotta move quick too. Normally I break this apart outside of the pan, but I totally forgot to do that, so I'm not really that worried. Gonna put a little bit more oil in the middle there. And then that minced garlic, put it right there. Now what this is gonna do is get you some minced garlic inside of your garlic fried rice without it getting super burned. So you're gonna get a lot of that garlickiness. At this point, I am gonna start adding some more flavor here. Salt, white pepper. This is just a sharpness. And then just a tiny bit MSG. Bam. Whenever you're doing wok cooking, you want it to be as hot as possible. This is why having a gas stove is nice, because having an electric stove is hard to cook with a wok. You don't have to use a wok, obviously, just use a regular frying pan, but that minced garlic is getting in there right now. Taking a little more of that butter. One of the goals with any fried rice is take your wok spoon like this, or wok ladle, and break apart all the rice. You don't want clumps, and then you can really stir fry it. As I mentioned before, you need this on a really high heat. There we go, done. I'm gonna cover this, just put it off to the side, and then I'll get ready to actually cook this up a second, and then clean up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and start heating it up again. I will add some water again. Let that get up to a boil, and then I'll finish it off. All right, so I'm turning down the heat a little bit actually, because all the water has evaporated. Yeah, it is splattering a little bit. I do add just a tiny more bit of oil. I'm using that avocado oil. And now I've got it on a medium-low heat, and I'm just gonna let it do its thing. I just agitate it to get those, I guess you could say, grill marks, or get a little texture on there. But I also don't want it to burn in any single place. There we go. Oh my gosh, that's looking amazing. So once in a while, I will just kind of leave it be. So I get a little bit of the browning on one side, maybe 2 or 3 sides actually. I'm excited for you to try my traditional Filipino breakfast. Just for good measure, I do temp it. Oh yeah, these are done. These are good to go. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the heat. I do want to capture all that. Just put a cover on. I'm gonna set it off to the side. Okay, I'm using a cast iron pan. This is my egg pan. Only eggs touch this cast iron pan. Lately, we've been trying to get away from plastics and even probably non-stick, honestly. I've always been a fan of cast iron anyways. I've been heating this pan up for a while, so it's already kind of warmed up. This has a natural non-stick to it, so I don't really need to do anything. Vital Farms are go-to, or local eggs are good. These are pasture raised, probably the best type of eggs you can buy. Obviously, it's gonna be more expensive. Let the chickens just kind of roam around, eat insects, gain a lot of nutrients, probably better quality protein. And I love the color of the egg yolks. Look at that. I've had this pan for over 20 years now. I bought this at the thrift store for probably $3. Honey, did I ever tell you I bought this egg pan at the thrift store?
No way.
Yes, for like $3.
Oh my God.
And the reason I like it is because the shape. You can't find this shape. It's perfect for eggs and only.
Already seasoned?
Well, it looked kind of dingy, so I re-seasoned it. Yeah, I wouldn't just rely on it. Okay, hot, hot, hot. I want it hot at the very, very beginning, and I'll show you what I do here. There we go. I'll let it cook for a hot second. Obviously, you don't have to do anything. Okay, now what I do is I turn down the heat to super low so it doesn't burn it. And I just let it do its thing. Add a little bit of salt on there. Just a little bit. So even though this is not quite cooked yet, I'm going to turn off the heat because with cast iron, there's a lot of residual heat in there and it's gonna continue cooking this egg. So I can already see it like still cooking even though the heat is completely off. All right, just to be careful, I take a little metal spatula like this. So look at that, comes off clean. No need for non-stick, at least for eggs. Still cooking right there on the edges. One thing you can do sometimes is take like a cover or a lid, just cover it, That way you get the top a little bit, but I want it to be sunny side up, so I'm not gonna do that for very long. Literally, that's it. Take it off before it overcooks. And don't worry, it's gonna just continue kind of solidifying in the next 5 minutes as I plate. First thing to do, fried rice. For a nice presentation, what I like to do, take the garlic fried rice and put it into a bowl like this to pack it nice and tight. Then, just like that, flip it on the plate. Got a nice presentation. Woo-hoo-hoo! So remember that garlic I had? Told you I wasn't gonna waste it. It's nice and crispy. By the way, this is a garlic cutting board. All I'm gonna do here is chop it a little bit, rough chop. It doesn't have to be, precise. All right, so you take that garlic right over the top. Take your longanisa, obviously put however many you want on there. I think I'm gonna go for 5 of them. Stack them on there, nice. Take that fried egg. Now for presentation, I am just going to put it right on the plate. Just like that. Boom. Judy's gonna try this and give her rating. You want some too? Whoa, somebody's excited. Come here, baby.
Okay, let's try it out, Daddy.
Let me know.
Let's see.
How do you like the little garlic pieces on top? We've been saying we've been wanting to make more Filipino dishes.
Yeah.
It's good?
10 out of 10.
10 out of... Whoa!
Yeah, that is good longanisa. What brand is that?
I don't know what brand that is.
That's good. Is that good, baby?
No, it's 5 out of 10.
It's 5 out of 10? 5 out of 10? You haven't even tried it yet. Okay, really? If that was served to you in the Philippines, would it pass?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can't go wrong with Filipino breakfast. It's quite simple.
Yeah, it is
You
simple.
just need to have the good longanisa.
So one of the things I did, honey, is I put minced garlic inside the rice halfway through.
Yes.
And I removed the garlic at the very beginning so you get the flavor of the garlic in
Yeah.
the oil. And there's another thing too, white pepper. White pepper inside of the rice. Now, I'm sure there's chefs out there that do that because in Asia, white pepper, I think it's more popular than black pepper. I don't know.
It's really good.
But the white pepper really cuts through the heaviness of the garlic and the butter, of course. But the longanisa is the longanisa. We just buy it frozen. And why I like my method is because you can take frozen longanisa and make it for breakfast. You just have to thaw it out in the pan with a lot more water because the directions say 1 or 2 tablespoons. But I literally use probably like 1.5 cups of water and kind of almost like parboil it, just barely.
Yeah, because if the water evaporates quick, you can burn the
Exactly.
longanisa, and
So-
then it's like.
So I did it really slowly. I boiled the water for the longanisa very, very slowly on a low heat. It still gets up to boiling, but it's not raging. So it takes a long time, and just watch it because you don't want that pan to be burnt. You saw in the beginning how, and let's put a little flashback of it, the pan didn't look burnt. You could tell there was some stuff starting to leak out, but it was just getting started. At that point, it was fully thawed, probably getting up to temp. And if you're gonna cook it right away, as you're getting everything else prepared, it's totally fine. So, all right, let me try some. How many thumbs up is it? Oh, 1 thumbs up?
No, 2.
Oh, 2? Wow, thank you, baby.